Hi, everyone. Welcome to this amazing interview with my client, Gabriella Encinas. She sells real estate in Raleigh, North Carolina, and been in real estate for 2 years up until October of last year, which is about 9 months ago now. She
Mhm.
was working as a buyer's agent in a team. So 9 months ago, she decided that she wanted to be a listing agent. And the rest of the story she'll tell you. So, Gabriella, welcome. Thank you for taking the time. And I'm going to go back in a little bit about your decision to become a listing agent. But recently, you had a huge breakthrough where in 1 week you set 4 appointments. Can you tell the viewers about that? I mean, you've done well as a listing agent in the last 9 months, but it seems like this week was a line in the sand, like something great, a breakthrough happened there. So tell us about that.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was a breakthrough. It was a mental breakthrough.
Ah.
So this last week, just like Jackie said, I set 4 appointments, all new expired listings. So brand new, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same day appointments, went out on that same day and took the listing and got the signature right there at the appointment.
Okay.
That was a major
You
breakthrough.
realize how incredible that is, right?
Yeah, it was so exciting.
Oh my gosh. You posted a message in the community saying all of this, and I'm like, like really? This is my desire for every client. So it's really, really amazing. So explain to the viewers, how did you get there to those results?
Yeah. So I have a quote in front of me. I found it and I feel like it just like embodies what I'm referring to. So
Mm-hmm.
it says, the last stroke of the hammer breaks a stone. This doesn't mean that the first stroke is useless. Success is the result of continuous effort. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that embodies my journey. Because, like I was speaking with you before on the phone, right, is that I have been doing what you've been telling us to do for
Mm-hmm.
the last 9 months, right? And so I didn't just wake up magically and this happened overnight. This was putting in the work and doing what you tell us to do. So obviously using your scripts, memorizing them, internalizing them, owning them, presenting, learning how to close, like everything that you share with us, as well as the mental toughness aspect of it. So I think that that was a major breakthrough for me because I realized that I kept telling myself this story that I wasn't good enough, or we all have that kind of like mental chatter. And
Mm-hmm.
so finally I was able to just shut it up, I guess. And again, this is the result of reprogramming my mind over months. Um, I think that answers your question.
Yeah, so let's go back because you had this incredible breakthrough week, but before that, you were taking listings. I what
Mhm,
Since in the last 9 months, let's say, how
mhm.
many listings did you take?
Yeah, including the breakthrough that I had, total 10 listings.
Okay, okay,
So it's a majority of everything.
got it. And what made you decide to not be a buyer's agent anymore?
I knew when I was getting into real estate that I always wanted to be a listing agent. I read the book, the guy who Gary Keller, right? The Millionaire
Yes,
Real Estate Agent.
yes.
And so I always knew that that's where it was going to be, is to be a listing agent. I started out as a buyer's agent because I was told that I needed to be a buyer's agent before I could be a listing agent.
Hmm.
And I was told that I needed to understand how buyers thought, and that was going to make me a better listing agent.
Do you think
Um,
that's true now that you've done it that way?
Uh, I think a little bit, but not necessarily. And here's where I'm coming from.
Hmm.
I moved to Raleigh, so I'm from Arizona. So I knew nobody here. Like I had no SOI, I had no nothing. I didn't have any friends here. Like I was brand new to the city, didn't know anything about it really. So I had to learn the market from the ground up as well as having zero connections.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, working on a team and working with buyers gave me a perspective, just given that situation. But
Mm-hmm.
do I think that everybody has to start on the buy side? No. You can be a listing agent first. You don't need to be a buyer's agent.
Okay. And so
Hmm.
um you mentioned it to me. I don't know if it was the first listing you took, because you said even when you were working as a buyer's agent in this team, you were making
Yes.
prospecting calls. Who were you calling before you actually joined and started working with me?
Yeah, we had a team account from Mojo. So I would just call like withdrawals, canceled, expired, for sale by owners. But I had a story in my head that I wasn't good enough to list expired listings.
Mm-hmm.
So I really focused on for sale by owners. I would still, don't get me wrong, I would still call expired listings. I just didn't feel confident. But with FSBOs for some reason, I don't know. I just felt like, okay, like I can really like dominate this area and focus on them. So that's where I started building, and that's how I got my first few listings was for sale by owners.
I remember you told me over the phone when we spoke that you listed a FSBO, and I don't know what was different about this, right? You said you were using some other scripts that weren't working that great, and then you listed a for sale by owner. We were already working together, and I asked you, I think it was your first one, as we joined forces here, and you said, I actually asked you, did it sell? Because I know a lot of agents sometimes listen to client interviews on YouTube and they're like, okay, yeah, they're taking a bunch of listings, but are they selling anything? And you told me this was a FSBO that actually sold. You listed it for 75,000 less than what they were asking. Okay,
Yep.
tell us about that. What was the price? What was your approach? How did you do that?
Yeah. So that's actually when I joined your program. I was like a week and a half in, and I started watching because I think you start with like FSBO domination. So I just like crammed watch those videos, and I'm like, all right, like I'm gonna call these for sale by owners. I don't know what I'm doing, but who cares? I'm gonna figure it out. Set the appointment with this for sale by owner. He was, like you said, it was about 75,000 overpriced. Sat down with him, did my FSBO presentation to the best I could at that time.
Yeah.
And looking back at it, I'm just smiling because I'm like, oh, it's not that good, but good enough.
Good
So it
enough,
doesn't matter.
exactly.
And
Have to
I
be
remember,
perfect, right? Because a lot of it just like,
no,
yeah, when I know everything, I'll do it. Look at you. Okay, so
uh-uh.
you did your best. And
Did my best, went through the CMA and just presented the facts. I mean, this is what it is. If you want to sell, it's not about what you want, it's about what the market is willing to bear. And so we agreed on a price that would cause it to sell and to not sit. 1 week prior to market, a new comparable came on the market, closed within 2 days, lower at the price we initially agreed on. So
wow,
I said, it has to be lower now. So I had the conversation with the seller who was not happy because he already lowered it 75K. I explained the situation. He eventually agreed, and we ended up selling within, it was 9 days on market.
wow, that is amazing. How hard was it to get him to lower the initial 75,000? I mean, was he just, yeah, sure, okay, I'll lower 75,000? How
No,
did
no,
you
definitely
do that?
not. Yeah, I think it's just presenting it in a strategic way where you're coming from the facts, right? Like it's not that I don't want it. I didn't was very fearful of over promising and under delivering when it came to price.
Mhm.
So I was very adamant about this is where we're at. Where do you think we should price at? So again, it wasn't me telling him and owning this price. It
Right,
was me asking him, well, based off the facts, what do you think? And
right.
I mean, there was some back and forth, right? Like, well, this, that. And then I just kept bringing him back, bringing him back. And then
Mhm.
eventually we were able to
Yeah.
agree.
Bringing him back, I would imagine, just for clarity for the people listening, to the comparables, to the recent sales, to the market conditions, so he
Yep.
can actually see it for himself. Great job. That's exactly how it's done. So
Mhm.
10 listings, some FSBOs initially. And
Yep.
how are you doing with expireds? Because this one week, okay, I'm going to repeat in case somebody missed what happened here. In one week, you set 4 appointments with new expired listings. You set those appointments for the same day and you went on there and took those listings. I mean, this
Yep.
is the behavior of a top listing agent. So
Hmm.
what happened? What was the change? Because you were calling some expireds before, even when you were working as a buyer's agent for the team. So I know you said a lot of mindset stuff. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, was this like the week that I was talking about the no leads game? Yeah. So explain.
Yeah. So, like, explain the no leads
Yeah, and
perspective.
and even because I remember you told me you were using some other scripts. I don't know what
Yeah.
was happening, but I think the
Yeah.
scripts also made a difference for you. So the whole process.
Okay. Okay. So I'll start with this because I think a lot of it had to do with people around me, um, sharing that you just had to have some level of skill in order to convert expireds, and
Mhm.
that I was not there and I should not be calling them because basically I don't know what I'm doing and you have to have years of experience. And, and I think I just let that really get deep into my subconscious and buying into this belief system that I am not good enough and
Yeah.
I do not have the skill set in order to, present to an expired. So I
Mhm.
think a lot of that was reprogramming my mind into believing that I can help expired listings and they do want to sell and they need guidance to understand pricing and obviously an aggressive marketing plan. And so I think after just months of me putting in this like grit work and being like, yeah, I am an aggressive agent. I pick up the phone, I prospect for minimum 3 hours a day. Like, how many other agents are doing this when you think about it? And
Mhm.
then I think it just started building that confidence within me, to be able to show up and to say, I do prospect for buyers for my sellers and find sellers that I can add value to. And it's like, I do that. So I can have integrity in saying that in front of the seller. And it comes off as very honest and real because it is.
Mhm.
It is real and they can feel that too. And so obviously just going back to when I was using different scripts,
Mhm.
right? I mean, I just downloaded these scripts online. I knew no context of them. I don't think I really owned them. I was just kind of reading. And that's where you got to start. Like, you got to start somewhere. So
Mhm.
I was just reading the script to the seller. I did not know how to handle objections. I did not know how to listen intently, like you tell us, to give them massive approval. I did not know how to handle the objection or to close really after being told no more than like one or two times. I
Mhm.
just didn't know those things. And so I was putting in work and getting like nothing out of it, basically. And so again, I feel like that just built up my resilience looking back. But if I would have had your program to begin with, I'm just like, oh, where would I be now? But let me not beat myself up and let me just keep going with this momentum.
Totally. I mean, you've been in real estate for 2 years and look at this.
Yep.
And now this week you're on vacation for a couple of days and you
Hmm.
told me just before we started recording this that today you set 2 appointments, yesterday you're setting appointments. I mean, this is the new Gabriella here.
It
Yeah.
is.
It's
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, I was telling Jackie, on my first call yesterday when I was getting back into prospecting for being on vacation. My first call, which I think was an expired or canceled, I can't remember, one of them, my first contact that I got, I set a qualified appointment. And so that's when I was like, okay, let me keep up this momentum. Let me keep up the groove because this is the new me.
Yeah, one you said something and I want to touch on that. You said the people around you were saying, "Well, you need a lot of experience. You this is not something you'll be able to do," meaning take list expireds and so on. And we are all influenced by our environment, what we hear, all of it, right? The environment around us. And you talked in the beginning about mindset.
Mhm.
What are some of the things that you have been doing to get to the point where now you believe in yourself specifically? What are you doing?
Um, so This is funny, but when I did not have the confidence, and I know you say this in one of your mental toughness videos that's within the platform, if you don't have the confidence, borrow my confidence. So
Mhm.
I would actually do that. Like whenever I would go into a listing appointment, I'd be like, I'm not confident, or I would have these doubts in my mind. I'd be like, wait, let me just embody who Jackie would be walking into this appointment. And let me just embody that character, just borrow it right now.
Mhm.
And that's when breakthroughs started happening. And now I'm able to embody like me being confident, right? Based off of kind of the way that you present yourself and how you show up is how I started showing up for myself and my sellers. And so that's one thing that I did very
Last
early
thing
on
I
too.
expected you to say, by the way, because yes,
Yeah.
that lesson is there, and I'm sure other clients heard it. This is the first time I actually hear a client saying what you just said, and it's just amazing. I mean, it's fascinating to me. It's perfect, absolutely perfect. Okay, what else?
Yep. So if you don't have confidence, just borrow somebody else's. It's fine. Nobody's gonna know. And then the second thing would be just showing up for yourself, right? Like doing what you say you're going to do. And look, I'm not perfect. I'm not 100% doing this. Like I got room for improvement, but the more that I would do what I said I was going to do, I saw my confidence level like rising up because I'm like, I am a proactive agent. I am aggressive. I do go the extra mile for my clients. And so I know how, I show up for myself. And trust me, you got to like constantly, I personally have to constantly remind myself of like bombard, you always say, right? You got to bombard yourself with positive thoughts.
Yes.
And that's something that's been game changer for me too, is just constantly looking at motivational quotes, inspirational quotes, and just constantly being motivated by that and inspired by that to really reprogram the junk, right? That I've been fed like my whole life, like most of us.
Yeah.
And so that's actually really where it's at though, I think. And that's where I want to work on even more because that shows through on how you present yourself and show up in the world, right? Is like your deep down belief systems of how you believe
It's who you
you are.
are. It's not
It's who
just
you are.
what you say, who you say you want to be. It is who you are, and we could actually choose and reprogram, like you said, all the years of junk that been
Yep.
thrown at us. So incredible. How do you
Mhm.
practice? How do you get better at the scripts? Because I know you have some role play partners. I mean, what's your routine to actually improve your communication?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, skills are another huge pillar, right? That like you got to work on. And even when you don't have the skills, I mean, you always talk about the massive action that can make up for that. And so that's where it was at for me at the very beginning. I got to do a lot of calls in order to get any kind of results. Now, where I'm improving on my communication skills is, to be honest, I got so obsessed with the program and the platform. Like I would make my boyfriend at first because I didn't know anyone in the program, and he's a software engineer. Like communication skills is not his expertise at all. Like he's very technical.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd make him be my role play partner. And I'd be like, okay, you're for sale by owner. I'm going to do my listing presentation. And so he would do that with me like every night for like honestly like 2 months
Oh, wow.
so that I can internalize these scripts and really own them or work on owning them. Now, what that looks like is
Boyfriend is
me.
an angel, role playing the FSBO presentation every night. That's so
I
cool.
know he really is. He really is. But whatever you got to do. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
And then obviously now I have role play partners. I also am doing massive amounts of calls, right? So that helps in terms of like knowing the scripts, owning the scripts, hearing every objection I could possibly get because I've heard all of them at this point. And then also just being in your platform, like just needing that information to bridge the gap because you don't know what you don't know. So using your platform to not only educate myself but implement what you're sharing. And there's just so much. I can't, there's no way we could explain it on this one call. Like you just don't realize what you don't know until you get in that platform and you're like, okay, like I got to just consume all of this and implement it immediately and just fail forward and like figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's not about perfection. It's just
No.
about always, every day getting a little better, adding new tools and strategies and scripts and dialogues. That's how it's done. And the
Yeah.
truth is, you've gotten results quickly. I mean, that
Yeah.
first of all, this week you had of the 4 expired listings you took, now you got momentum. I,
Mhm.
I can hear the huge confidence in your voice. Like you got this. You got a
Oh
lot
yeah.
to continue to learn. I mean, I'm learning every day. When nobody stops. I mean, the day you stop is that's a bigger problem than anything else. As long as we're learning, we're great. But that first for sale by owner that you actually
Mhm.
listed for a much lower price. My intention with inviting you to this interview, it's just to be able to help new agents that they're struggling, they're doubting themselves because like you, they're hearing people say, "Oh no, that's too hard. Oh, don't do that." That's what we're all surrounded by. So
Yeah.
when you think of like you, an agent who's watching this and they're working with buyers and they're struggling, because buyers, I mean, I'm very biased towards listings, but to me, they're a nightmare. So
Mm.
they're struggling, putting in a lot of time, not getting enough of a return on the investment of working with buyers, or they're brand new
Yeah.
and they're looking for a direction. Um,
Mhm.
what would be your advice? Like, what would you say if you're in the mind of these agents who are struggling?
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, if I could, because I was there not even that long ago, right? I would have told myself, like, seriously, just X out all of the like negative noise around you, which is so hard. And you talk about this, like it's incredibly challenging. And at the same time, though, like your future and your income depend on it. So, like, I don't know, what other choice do you have? Like, you can sit there being broke and
But what do you do?
continue.
Let's say if the noise is coming from your broker or
Yeah.
other agents in your office that you want to be nice to, and they're the naysayers, or you're watching the news and the world is falling apart and the
Mhm.
economy. So how do you actually block all of this out? How did you do it?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, like I loved my team. I think that they're amazing. And at the same time, though, I made this transition because I wanted to be a full-time listing agent, and I really trusted your process. You came very highly recommended by people that I really respect, so I trusted the process. Um, but I think whatever it takes in order to get out of those situations, and it's not easy, right? Because sometimes it's at home, you have to make these changes. Sometimes it's your work environment, your friend groups. But at the end of the day, it's like, how badly do you want to make these changes? Like, how badly do you want to make the income that you want to make, or the life that you deserve to have? And so I feel like it just comes down to how badly do you want it. And so that's just kind of where it's at. I think you just got to be committed to do what it takes. And it's not going to be easy, but what's the alternative? And
Right.
that's where I thought about it for myself. I'm like,
And your
well, what's the
business
alternative? Staying small? No.
and your income depend on it. You said that in the
Hmm.
beginning, and that is the reality of it. So,
Yep,
yeah.
that
So
is.
number one is that it's the mental side of it, and not allowing yourself to or allowing people to throw garbage at you, like I say.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else that comes to mind for someone struggling here?
Yeah. Well, I would say 100% like you got to join SalesX. And Jackie did not tell me to say that, but seriously, if I would have had that, I'm just thinking about the beginning of my real estate career and I hadn't decided to work with buyers or do, what other people were telling me I needed to do in order to get to where I want to be, and I had your program from day 1. Oh man, that would have been so game changer. Because one thing I did want to mention though is that not only having you as my coach, which completely changed my life, by the way, but having the community though within SalesX. And I know you had said on multiple lessons, reach out to people, like build these connections. So I was able to surround myself by other producers. who
Mm.
are doing business, getting listings through your program, that has helped me exponentially grow to another level. Like not only through role plays, but masterminds, just the support of the community. It's it's unmatched. So that's something I wanted to mention.
So now you're surrounded by people that are doing the same thing you want to do, that have similar goals, that are committed as you are, instead of
Mhm.
hearing average agents out there complain and blame everything and not get anything done. I get it,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
Gabriella, I I can't wait, okay? Because you say, "Oh, if I would have had this from the beginning," I so appreciate it. I know that everything you shared is going to inspire so many people, and I can't wait to continue to hear about all your amazing success, and thank you so much. If anybody watching has a referral in Raleigh, North Carolina, this is your girl.
Mhm.
So thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.